This is Nightline.
Tonight, bad brokers?
He went from this charming gentleman to this evil predator attacker.
The famous real estate brother is now facing shocking sex crimes allegations.
This conduct, as alleged, was heinous.
Accused of using their life of luxury in New York and Miami to lure potential victims.
The more I said stop, the more he got violent with me.
Now an ABC News exclusive. One woman accusing Orrin Alexander of raping her at the famous Versace mansion in 2014.
There's reasons to doubt her story.
Why she says she went to police and is speaking out now. Plus,
Alicia, to your right!
Alicia Vikander.
The fate of humanity is now in your hands.
The Tomb Raider star in the new sci-fi thriller, The Assessment.
Virginia!
Spilling the tea on what it's like to be married to fellow actor Michael Fassbender.
We both really care. It means the most what he thinks.
Her surprising reveal that helped her get into character.
No way.
And as we celebrate our big 45th anniversary week,
This is Nightline.
what's inside tonight's Nightline Vault?
A country star comes to the big city and changes her sound.
That move that launched her to superstardom.
Celebrating 45 years of delivering to you the most powerful stories of our time. From ABC News headquarters in New York, this is Nightline.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us tonight. For years, they were real estate power brokers, brothers, famous for spreading their wealth from New York to Miami, and for their high-profile client list that included names like Kim Kardashian, Kanye West, Jared Kushner, and Ivanka Trump. Now the three Alexander brothers are facing allegations of rape and sexual assault. My Nightline co-anchor Juju Chang sat down with a woman who says she's waited for a decade to tell her story.
What do you think you saw in his eyes?
It was evil. I say like he looked like he was possessed.
Like a nightmare that never goes away, Maria Suska says she will never forget what she just recently told police happened one night 10 years ago.
The more I said stop, the more he got violent with me.
She's talking about Orrin Alexander, the infamous real estate powerhouse who she told Miami Beach police raped her.
He went from this charming gentleman to this evil predator attacker.
He and his brothers Alon and Tal come from a powerful and wealthy family, the very picture of success. Now all three are currently behind bars in New York, facing a long list of federal charges, including sex trafficking and abuse.
I was very, very scared that I was raped, that the attack happened. I was scared of him, and I was very traumatized.
Suska says she didn't report the alleged rape at the time out of fear. But in December, she finally did, and ABC News obtained a copy. She's never shown her face on camera for an interview until talking to ABC News.
What made you feel confident enough to do that now?
I don't want to be in the shadows. I don't want to be afraid of them. And hopefully that I show my face, maybe the other women will get the courage to as well.
Through his lawyer, Orrin Alexander has denied Suska's allegations.
You should not be coming forward years later. There's reasons to doubt her story. And our system is built on testing allegations, and we fully intend to test these in a court of law. And it is that process that allows the truth to come out.
Suska is not part of the criminal case, but federal prosecutors say Orrin and his two brothers repeatedly and violently drugged and raped dozens of women, even allegedly filming some of the acts over a period of nearly 20 years.
This conduct, as alleged, was heinous.
Orrin and his older brother Tal touted themselves as superstar brokers in ultra-luxe deals at Douglas Elliman, the real estate company. The brothers later formed their own real estate firm called Official.
Official is the only hyper-specialized residential brokerage in the market today, focused on the top end of the market.
Orrin's twin, Alon, worked as an executive in the family's company, Kent Security, in Miami. According to the indictment, the three brothers committed the alleged assault, sometimes acting alone, sometimes with each other, and sometimes with other men, and allegedly physically restrained and held women down, and ignored screams and explicit requests to stop.
The defendants allegedly used their wealth and status to recruit and pay for the travel of their intended victims.
The lurid allegations, a world apart from the life the Alexander family built for themselves. All three brothers are married, two of them to models who are both standing by their husbands.
Their parents, Shlomo and Orly, were immigrants from Israel. Their story is very much an American rags to riches story. Today, the family is multimillionaires.
The charges in this case against the Alexander brothers are really serious charges of sex trafficking, very similar to what Sean Combs faces, very similar to what R. Kelly was convicted of.
Authorities also allege in legal documents that an FBI raid of Tal Alexander's New York City apartment turned up explicit hard drives. On them, prosecutors say, are multiple videos that depict Alon, Oren, and other men engaged in sexual contact with women who are visibly under the influence of alcohol or other substances, and that at least one defendant physically manipulated the women's bodies in order to have sex with them, while the women did not actively participate.
Some of the women, prosecutors said, saw the camera or realized they were being filmed. They tried to object. Some tried to hide from the camera. Some tried to run away. And for prosecutors, that's powerful evidence.
The government can make all kinds of salacious claims in court, but we do not think that what they have said in court is consistent with what the evidence shows.
So how did the brothers allegedly target women for so many years?
Many women say that they tried to come forward, but nobody listened to them, or they were pressured to stay silent because the brothers held a lot of weight. Their family had a lot of money.
Each of the brothers deny all the federal and state allegations against them.
The defense team for the brothers has really played a line that the women who are making accusations are out for a cash grab.
I'm not suing for money. I just want my voice heard.
Maria Suska is one of more than 60 accusers interviewed by prosecutors. She says she's willing to testify, even though she's not a part of the criminal case or any of the 24 civil lawsuits against the Alexanders. That's because, as a Florida resident, the statute of limitations in her case expired.
What's your reaction to it, to those court documents?
I mean, it's shocking, it's disgusting. They think that women are there just for their pleasure. You know, they're not treating them like human beings, like an object.
Suska says her story shows how powerful and untouchable the brothers thought they were. In her report to police, she says Oren reached out to her via Facebook. She told police that he later raped her during a private party sometime in late April or early May of 2014 at the Versace mansion.
He said, would I like to go upstairs and see the view? There's at the Watchtower. And I said, okay, I agreed to follow him. I was still trusting him. Sorry.
It's okay, take your time.
He grabs my shoulder, turns me around, and then kisses me forcibly. I told him to calm down a little bit, but he got more violent. He started to strip my top off. I said stop, and I started angrily yelling louder.
According to the police report first filed last December and obtained by ABC News, Suska told police he overpowered her, covering her mouth and telling her not to scream.
What happened when it was over?
Like, he got himself together, he gave me a smirk, and he said, oh, that was good. He got up, and he left.
Suska told police there were about 30 people at the party, and security took everyone's cell phones when they arrived. She says she left, grabbed her phone on the way out, and immediately went home.
I didn't go to the police. I was scared. I was ashamed. If he's that successful and powerful, maybe he can come after me, ruin me, ruin my life. I felt powerless.
The allegations that have been lodged by Ms. Suska raise significant questions as to the veracity of her account.
Jenny Wilson represents Oren Alexander.
She would have had to pick her phone up from security. She would have had to walk outside onto Ocean Drive, where there are roving police officers, and these allegations were not reported to them. The Versace mansion is 2 blocks from the Miami Beach Police Department. There is no physical evidence whatsoever. There was no medical treatment. We are also looking into evidence that she communicated, with Mr. Alexander years after this incident. Again, raising serious doubts as to these allegations.
Suska says she did mention the alleged rape to a therapist shortly after the attack, who confirmed to ABC News that she provided treatment of rape trauma syndrome. Still, Suska says she was surprised when all 3 brothers were arrested 10 years later.
All this time I thought I'm the only one that this happened to.
The brothers' attorneys say that these incidents were consensual. And for you, was it consensual?
It was not consensual, no. No, I was fighting for my life when he attacked me.
Federal prosecutors plan to put Oren, Olon, and Tal on trial together next year. For now, they remain in custody in New York because the judge won't grant bail.
Is there any one thing that you want to have people remember when they think about your story?
That we are women, we are strong, that, we can survive, we can come forward. It's important to come forward, and hopefully, this won't happen again with men that feel that they have the power to do so.
Our thanks to Juju. When we come back, we're one-on-one with Oscar winner actress Alicia Vikander.
You shouted at me. I did not. You did. It was not. Shouted. No,
Why she says she felt especially inspired while filming her new movie, The Assessment.
Nightline is one of the most significant television programs in the history of the business. Certainly among the most significant in the history of television news. It's given us great insights about the world. It's made us cry. It's made us laugh. It's made us smarter. So congratulations, Nightline, on 45 wonderful years.
Nightline, happy anniversary. 45 years of important, vital entertainment, great journalism, and you have been unbelievable to me over the years. So I thank you for that. And Ted Koppel, one of the great journalists of our time. Happy anniversary.
Our thanks to Henry. Welcome back. At 36 years old, Alicia Vikander has been on stage since she was a child in Sweden and has won a shelf of awards for her fine work. She sat down to talk about her latest role in a futuristic film called The Assessment. Here's Nightline's Ashan Singh.
Alicia Vikander, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
I want to talk a little bit about your newest project, but first, I want to talk about you, because you've been acting, dancing, performing since you were a child. You won an Oscar for your role in The Danish Girl in 2016, and you've got one of the most consistent bodies of work here in Hollywood today. Was this all a part of the plan when you look back on it?
It was definitely not part of the plan. I grew up in Sweden, and the world of films and movies in the English-speaking language in Hollywood, that was, part of a fantasy, but I probably never, not even in my wildest dreams, I think I would have thought I would be here today.
In your role in The Assessment, you play Virginia, the assessor, and she's evaluating this couple in this dystopian future and whether or not that they can have a baby. Let's take a look at a clip.
It's really yummy. Whoa, what the? You shouted at me. I did not. You did. It was not. Shouted. No, I raised my voice.
Did?
I did not. It's not. I raised my voice. It's not the same. It's not the same thing.
Did.
Tell me a little bit about that scene, especially acting like a child and putting on that physical performance, because it was chilling to watch.
Even I am watching it thinking, oh, maybe I'll have a second thought about having another child at least. No, it was a challenge. I think I was pretty nervous when I stepped on set for the first day. And this scene actually, which is kind of the first time in the film where you see the assessor stepping into her role as the assessor to quite a far extent. It was also the first day on set where I was going to kind of go into that role play in my character for the first time. But it was amazing. Funny enough, I was like 4 or 5 months pregnant when I shot these scenes too. So it was another layer of having some true inspiration come from like within on this one.
Everybody loves you as Lara Croft in Tomb Raider. Does your action training contribute to physical roles like this one as well?
I mean, I think all physical training, obviously, you know, gives another kind of element of in-depth of what you later on can do. Dancing obviously helped my training, I think, for Tomb Raider. And I mean, on that film, I prepped for like 7, 8, 9 months. So I got to do a lot of new different things that I hadn't done before. I was like rock climbing, and I was swimming, and I was diving, and I was doing boxing, and I was shooting arrows. So hopefully I got some of those things within me now, and they can be reused for other parts.
It prepared you for a ton of roles to come.
Maybe, hopefully.
You have 2 children with fellow actor Michael Fassbender. How about working with your husband when it comes to preparing for roles like this? Do you guys run lines together or anything like that?
That's actually funny. I mean, I think obviously we shared this passion, but then it's funny when it comes to like reading, like preparing lines. Both of us, like, you know, need a lot of time, and we do run things over and over and over. But we're like, sometimes if we prep a project simultaneously, we like have to go to as far away from one another in the house in the day. We like drop off the kids, and then as soon as he hears me, I hear him, he's like, go away! You know, it's like, no, don't listen, like, I need to. It's kind of sweet, you know. I think we both really care, and we like really appreciate each other's like opinions. So it is always a big thing when we show our films for each other for the first time. It means the most what he thinks.
Is he a tough critic?
He's an honest one.
It's been almost 10 years. I think it has been 10 years since the release of Ex Machina.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Iconic role
exactly.
as Ava, and it examines how we as a society prepare for the introduction of artificial intelligence. When you look back at a movie like Ex Machina, and you look forward to a movie like The Assessment, what do you think about our relationship with technology and what these 2 kinds of films kind of say about where we are?
The interesting thing with Ex Machina was, I guess, it was like people were like creating a persona based on your internet searches. And that's like literally the life we have every day of advertisement. It pops up in our phones. Already then, I was kind of very interested in these subjects, and making Ex Machina was thrilling because I got to meet a lot of people that Alex Garland, the writer and director, had, you know, met and got his inspiration from. So I kind of got a bit of an insight. But then obviously, I mean, you can't really prepare for what's happening and in what pace. The way we live our life probably is going to be completely different within the next 10 years. We're already in it. It's happening.
Alicia Vikander, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Our thanks to Ashan. The Assessment is in theaters now. When we come back, it's our big 45th anniversary week. We break open the Nightline vault, the time when Taylor Swift wasn't quite a superstar, but she was about to be. Finally tonight, on Nightline's big 45th anniversary week, we're cracking open the Nightline vault. 11 years ago, Taylor Swift was about to make the transition from country star to one of the biggest superstars the music world has seen.
A country star comes to the big city and changes her sound. Yes, she has an unconventional relationship with her Swifties. A whole month before dropping her new album, she played it for them in private.
The 1989 Secret Sessions was something I decided to do with this album as sort of like the secret gatherings all over the country of fans in my living rooms listening to the album. And the coolest thing is, these fans heard the album a month ahead of time, and they didn't leak anything.
And that's Nightline for this evening. You can catch our full episodes on Hulu. We'll see you right back here same time tomorrow. Thanks for the company, America. Good night.